All right, so good news is this is the last presentation for the day before the bar opens, right after this. And the entertainment is the Maximo band. It's actually a makeup of Maximo users that have practiced, I think, via GoToMeeting webinars. And they are going to go ahead and actually try to deliver a concert of some sort. The hope and intent is if there are any singers, you can jump up there and actually sing along with them. I know the lead guitarist is pretty good. So you hum a song, you can actually say it. So this is 7.6 new features. Dustin Haley is going to be delivering a very energetic last presentation of the day. Dustin has been in the Maximo world for about 11 years now. He's been with Projetech you just celebrated your 4-year anniversary. Dustin has implemented and trained Maximo over 10 countries around the world, so he's been around a little bit. He carries a couple certifications. He carries deployment professional certification and the solutions advisor certification. Dustin, this is yours.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. All right. Hi, everyone. So, like Daryl said, my presentation is to go over the new features inside 7.6. IBM has spent a lot of time making a lot of little cosmetic tweaks to Maximo and functional changes to make it easier and faster for the users to use. If you guys have ever been in any of my training classes, you've probably heard that I compare Maximo to like going to Disney World. All right, when you go in there, there is a ton to do, and some things might even seem a little magical to you at times. Okay, and then, so for those of you with kids, you'll appreciate this. Basically what they've done in here is they took It's a Small World and made it look nicer, and then they made it a lot easier to meet Princess Elsa. Okay, so now you don't have to wait 5 hours. Okay. The features that we're going to be going over today is the navigation feature. They have changed that. The edit mode, how that is going to work for you. Start Center result enhancements. The query-based reporting enhancements. New applications that are in Maximo 7.6. So for those of you that played trivia today with me, thank you. You guys already know one of the new applications. All right, and then a few other functional changes that they've made to the system. All right, so the first part that we're going to go over is navigation. All right, they've moved it over to the left from it previously being on the right. Okay, they allow you now to search throughout Maximo to find applications, queries, and actions. Okay, so if you're not familiar with it, if you're a new user, that'll help you out a lot. They've added hover dialogues, and we'll go into more detail once we get to that. List tab changes, and how they have changed the breadcrumbs, so when you're moving from application to application within each other. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go over this presentation, and then at the end of it, I'll go and jump inside Maximo and show you guys what it actually looks like. So here is what Maximo looks like when you first log in. Up here at the top left, my mouse over there, yeah, there we go. They have moved the Start Center button, so it used to just say Start Center, and there used to be bulletins, personal information, all that up at the top right. They've actually done away with that, and they've went to icons, okay? And the Start Center icon now, it looks like a little house, and it's located on the top left. So you would click that, and it would actually take you back to your Start Center. Your go-to would be this right here, and we'll go over a little bit more of that in a little bit. It's a little 3 bars stacked on top of each other. They've completely changed the skin up here, so instead of being that dark blue IBM font, they've taken that out, and now it's a black font. They've also updated the naming, so you'll see your name here and over here when you're actually navigating through the applications. And then over here to the right, you'll see this little bell icon. That's representing your bulletins. This little bar graph right here. That is your reports. So whenever you would click on reports before, you'd see a list of all of them. That's moved there. The next one over looks like a little human. That is going to be your personal information, your default information, that kind of stuff. The next one over looks like a little arrow pointing out the door. That's saying sign out, get out. And the last one is a little question mark. That is for your help. Okay? All right, now the next piece is the go-to. So what they've done is, instead of you clicking up at the top right, they have it so that it is located over here on the left. And it will always show if you want it to. So you can hit right here where it says go to applications, and you'll have a list of all the different applications that you have access to. What they've also moved over here are your queries. So instead of them being up here at the top, they've moved them right here in the middle. And they've moved actions. So common actions and more actions. That would have been under your select action at the top center. Now it's moved over here to the left. So when you go into your applications, you'll no longer see select action at the top. They're all going to be located over here for you. Now, let's say you're new to Maximo and you're not really sure where anything is. All you know is that your boss said, "Hey, go into work order tracking." You're like, "Well, I have no idea where that is." What they've done is up at the top, they have a little search finder, and you see in this example, I typed in work, and it gave me all the applications that I have access to that deal with work. So workflow designer, work view, work order tracking, okay, and even new applications that we cloned and added in there, you'll see there. And then also you'll see that there are available queries, okay, so if you've created a query, and some companies tend to save like 500 queries, and you have no idea where they are, now you'll be able to quickly find them instead of scrolling down a little list the whole way. It'll also show actions, so common actions and more actions. I know in work order tracking you hit select action and it just drops straight down to the bottom. It could make it difficult for you to find things, so those will also appear there for you. Okay. Another new feature is the My Recents application. So what this does is it shows you the last 8 applications you went to. So if you're primarily going into maybe 3 or 4 applications constantly, but you have access to the whole system, you can just go to My Recent Applications and you'll see the ones that you just went to. By default, it lists 8, your last 8, but this can be changed to be lower or higher depending on your needs. Okay. Up here at the top left, the 3 stacked bars. If you like the traditional go-to where you would click the button and it would bring down the list, you still have that ability. You hit these 3 bars at the top left and then it drops down, and you can go into all the various modules and then find the application that you want to go to. Okay, very cool, huh? Yeah? All right, just making sure you guys didn't fall asleep on me. Okay. Nobody falls asleep at Disney, so I don't understand. All right, now let's say you just absolutely hate this navigation menu popping up and you just want to focus on your 3 bars. You can hide that. All right, on the far right of it, you'll see this little black arrow over here. If you click that, it'll push it over to the left and it'll hide it. While it does that, it'll also expand your information on your screen. So if you did have a few fields that were on the right that were barely showing, they'll get pushed over into view. Okay. Now you have the option to have this automatically hide itself every time, always appear, or just let your system administrator pick what you want. You can do that by going up to your personal information. Remember the little human looking person? You click on that and then click on default information. Okay, that'll open up your default information, and they've added this side navigation menu down here. So you have 3 radio dials: display, which means that whenever you log in, you want it to automatically be displayed. Hide, okay, and that means just hide it every single time you log in. Or they use a setting from the security group. So if you use that, your system administrator can set your security group to automatically hide or display that, okay? But your choice right here will override anything that they pick. So if they say to hide it and you're like, no, I don't like that, display it. It will display for you, okay? So a little more power to the people there, taking it back from IT. Okay, list tab changes. All right, so previously when you went inside to your applications, it would take you straight to the list tab, and then you would see every single tab inside of that application. IBM has done away with that, and now it just shows this top part right here, this list tab. It cleans up the screen so you don't have as much mess going on up here. It's a lot less confusing to users that are brand new to the system also. So you'll come inside here, you can still search, that functionality is the same, but you don't have all that extra mess of tabs at the top. Now, once you pick your record, let's say I hit this 1000, then it will turn into this. So you'll be in your work order, and then you will have all your tabs that you previously had on there, and then you can hit list view to go back to that list tab, okay? So it cleans it up, makes it a little bit easier for people to use. Okay, some cosmetic changes that have happened within the system is you'll notice that the wording now, it used to be previously on the left and then the field would be right next to it. What they've done is they've stacked it. So your wording's on top and then the field. This allows Maximo to move everything over to the left. Okay, that way if you decide to name your field like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, okay, that's fine. It'll still take up the exact same amount of space. Okay. This piece right here is just kind of showing you that they are forcing all the fields to the left automatically. There used to be a bad issue that I would hear constantly about, you know, why can't we move this field that's over here on the far right? There's so much space in there. Okay. What they've done is they've taken out all the open space and forced everything to the left automatically. So depending on your screen size, it'll move things up and over to the left automatically for you. Makes it look a lot nicer. And then down here on the bottom, it's just a small little detail, but they've taken out the boxes, and now they've changed the font and just bolded it out just to kind of make it look a little cleaner with inside the fields in the application. Okay. Another feature that I really like, I've been using this a lot since I've moved over to 7.6, is on certain select value fields, okay, you can start typing in a letter and it will automatically start suggesting which records or which values do you want to use. So in this type field for assets, I typed in F and it automatically says, well, do you want fleet, ferrous, or non-ferrous? And then I could just hit fleet and it would put it in there for me. So it saves you a lot of time from having to hit select value and bring that up. You can just type that and it'll go in there. One of my favorite new features. May not be y'all's, but.
You said it was only certain fields?
Yeah, not every select value field will have that. Okay, edit mode. Okay, this is a pretty cool feature that they have inside Maximo now. What this is going to do is help prevent refetch errors. So anyone that has ever worked inside of an application and their coworker decided they were going to work on that exact same work order as you, okay, you both go in there, do work, your buddy hits save, and then you hit save, and then you get the refetch error. So none of your stuff got saved, but all of theirs did. And then you guys just probably hate each other after that. Yeah. So IBM's trying to stop that, and what they've done is they've implemented this edit mode. So what this does is whenever you go inside of a work order, as long as edit mode is activated, and your system administrator can do that for you. Once edit mode is activated, you'll come inside your work order, and actually every field will be read-only automatically. What you'll have to do is you come up here to the top left, it will be a little piece of paper with a pencil. You click on that and that opens up your fields and it locks down the record so that someone else cannot come inside there and change it. Okay? When you do that, your buddy Joe decides he wants to work on that same record, or in this case, yeah, your buddy Joe. Get my mouse over there. They'll see this little icon right here. It'll be a little piece of paper and a pencil on there, and if you run your mouse over there, it'll actually tell you who's using it. So in this case, I had a Tyler Ditto. He was editing the record for me. Okay, I can't go in there and mess with it until he is finished with it. Now, in order to take it off of this edit, this lockdown mode, you have 3 different choices. You can either hit the edit mode icon, the little piece of paper with a pencil, that will unlock it. You can log out of the system, or if you navigate into another application, it'll automatically take you off of this. Now, if you do the cardinal sin of going up to the top right and hitting the red X, you just messed it up for Joe. Because Joe's not going to be able to get in there until the system finally kicks you out, which can sometimes take 5 minutes to half an hour, depending on it. Okay? So if you are going to use this, make sure you properly log yourself out of it. Another caveat that IBM has told me about is that this will work for work order tracking, but if somebody was in quick reporting, which is connected to work order tracking, they could still edit that record even if it was locked. So it's just for the work order tracking application. Okay. All right. Hover Dialogs. All right, this is a really good feature because this is going to help save a lot of space on your records. Okay, we've definitely had plenty of users who want to put every single field from the asset application or even an inventory application onto the work order tracking screen, and then you just get this jumbled mess that only one person cares about. So what they've done is they have this little eye here. If you hover over it, you'll get this box that looks something like this. So in this case, it's for the asset field. When I hovered over it, it told me my asset, my description, the status, manufacturer, serial number, location, and asset tag. So instead of having to put all those fields on there, you can just have it added onto this dialog. It is editable, so your system administrator can go inside there, pick which fields should be on there, okay? And you can also add this on to more than just the asset field. Okay, so this will help save a lot of space and make it a lot cleaner for your applications. All right, next piece is breadcrumbs. All right, so if you guys don't know what a breadcrumb is, it's basically like when you click, if you're in the work order application and you go to the asset field and you click on your little detail menu, you can click go to assets. Well, then while you're in assets, you could say, I want to go to locations, and it'll take you there every step of the way. And previously what would happen is they would have on the bottom left in the smallest font possible, unbolded, every single application you went to. And if you have any trouble with your eyesight, there is no way you were looking at it. Sometimes even I squint, and I have good vision. All right, so what they've done now is make this a lot easier to see and understand what's going on. So they've made it so that up here at the top left, it looks like stacked pages, okay? So even if I'm not telling you what's going on, you can probably see and understand that, you know, these are different applications up here. They're easy to see, and if I wanted to go to assets, I could just click on that name, or I could just click on work order tracking. It would take me right to that application. And then of course you'll still have the return with value that was previously up at the top right. Okay, so this is a really good one, especially for those of you that are wearing glasses in here. Okay, so the next section that we're going to go over is the Start Center. What they've done, they've hidden the edit buttons, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. Okay, you'll now select the application and then the query when you're trying to create a result set. And in the past, all you could do is single table objects. So if you were in the work order application, you created a query there. Whenever you stuck it on your result set, you could only pull fields that were from the work order tracking application. Now you could pull fields that are from the asset or the location application. So the first piece up here is they started hiding these edit buttons. So before, these were always present in here, and they just wanted to clean up the screen and minimize anything that doesn't need to be there all the time. So you will not see these edit buttons typically when you come on here. The only time these will pop up is whenever you mouse on it, okay? And then you'll be able to see them and you can click on them. Okay. Next piece up here is the result sets. Okay. So whenever you're creating this, previously what it would be is they show you every single query available to you from every application. So you'd have like 300 or 400 of them, and it was dang near impossible to find. What they've done now is you'll select your application. So in this case up here at the top left, I picked work order tracking. And then my query, I'll hit my little select value and pick all the queries that are available in work order tracking. This will save a lot of time and make it easier for you to find your queries, okay? Because most people that are in work order tracking could care less about an asset query whenever they're trying to do their result sets. Okay. Also here on the bottom left, what they've done is they've included this object list. So this is what's going to allow you to put on different fields from different applications. So I was saying before, if you were creating a query for work orders and you needed to go and put in asset description or the asset location description, you couldn't do that. You're out of luck. You were going to get the location name and the asset name, and that was it. Now they've made it so that you can click on them and actually import it over. So if I were to click over here on this asset, it would show me all the asset fields that are available to me. Okay, you can see down here, I already did add asset description on there. I could put on the location description. I can go to various applications and put them on there. Now, typically you'll want this to stay, you probably don't want a one-to-many, meaning that it's gonna be like, if you're in the purchase order application, every single line item will have like a different setting on there. You probably want to stay away from that. You just want the one-to-one. But this is a really cool feature. This was probably one that was asked to me to implement since probably Maximo 5. Since they started the Start Centers, people have been asking for this. So this is a really good one. Okay. Next, actually this one probably even more so than the result sets is being able to calculate or summarize things on your QBRs. Previously, they put the kid gloves on you guys and they wouldn't let you customize your reports too much. Now they're starting to realize that, hey, these guys work in IT, they work on computers, they might actually know what they're doing. All right, so they're listening to you guys finally. Report creation, it now will allow you to do subtotals, calculations, average, min, max, and preview a report rather than just running it, realizing it was wrong, and then starting over again, which is the funnest thing you could do all day. There you go. All right, so this is what your report is going to look like now. Okay, when you come inside here, you'll notice that the tabs up here are a little bit different. What they've done is instead of it saying select right here, now it says content. But it functions the same as the select tab, which is where you're going to pick all your different fields. They've added in the calculate and summarize tab. Okay, those are completely brand new. The format tab is the same in that it will allow you to choose, do you want to sort, group, how do you want that to appear for yourself. And they got rid of the submit tab. List and detail, that's the same as before. The apply application query, it used to be in content, and it used to say apply application query from the current blah 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 blah. It was really long, it was silly. So they just shortened it down, and now basically it functions the same. If you check it, it means that it's going to run it off of what the current query that you're on. They put in a title, and now instead of it saying public, it says share, which makes a little bit more sense. Do you want to share this with everybody? Okay. You can cancel it, If you click run and save the completed report, it does exactly that. Or you can click preview report. Yeah.
Do you still have to hit the share at the start of it if you ever want to share it?
Yes. If you run and save it, then you can't share it after that.
You still can't do that?
No.
Okay.
The preview report, what that will do is actually run the report and bring it up, but it won't save it. So if you go in there and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to put work type on there, that's fine. You just close out the report and then just go to content and add your work type on there. And then once you preview it and you accept it, you can say run and save the completed report, and that will save it for you. Okay, so here is the calculate tab. It's going to look very similar to what you have in your content. So you'll have all the different applications that you have access to, all these objects, and then it will show you the fields over here. So a few of them that you might want to do is, one second, add an example. So if you want to add up two different types of fields that you have, so let's say you're in your asset application and you want to see your total budget and your year to date for all your assets. You can add your asset fields on here that you want to see on here, and then in your expression you can put on that you want your budget, calculate it all, the sum of it, and then you can also do the same thing for your year to date. Calculate all that up so that you can see how much money you're spending and then how much is actually in your budget. Are you going over or under with it? Okay. The next tab over is your summarize tab. So you have different options in here. You can total it, count it, average it, minimum, maximum, medium, mode. All these fun math terms that we all learned like 15 years ago, maybe more. Okay, what you can do inside here, it's somewhat similar, but a little different. In this case, let's say you want the average of all your year-to-date costs for your assets, or the average of the budgeted cost for all of them. You can add in your budgeted cost or year-to-date down here, and then average them out. And it will actually add in a brand new field so that you can see the number for that. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go into the new applications. There are three actually new applications that they have in here that I think you guys will find very interesting. One is KPI Viewer, which allows you to view your KPIs without using the Start Center. And the other two is you can now create a crew and a crew type. Previously, the only way you could use a crew was just a domain field. So you would have some values put in there, but there was no other functionality outside of that. Okay, KPI Viewer. This one is really cool, and it will help speed up your login process. So if you're someone that loves to use KPIs, you know that when you go in your Start Center the first thing in the morning, if you have 2 or 3, it can take like 5-10 minutes for all of them to load up depending on your internet connection. So what they've done is, instead of you having to see that on your Start Center, you can now use the KPI Viewer application. So you'll come inside here, click on your specific KPI that you want to view, and then inside here you'll see the exact same information plus a little bit more that you would normally saw on your Start Center. So up here at the top is your KPI name, description, and this is the long description that you would have given it. On the bottom this is what you would have saw typically on your Start Center. So you have your meter, your actual last reading targets, and then also what your values are set at. Okay. You can also view your historical trends inside of this. So that gives you even more functionality than what the Start Center was offering you. Inside here, you can tell it that you want to view everything. Let's say you're just curious about from March to, let's say, July. So you could plug in March to July right here. Set the type of range. Do you want it to be month, week, day, even year based? Okay. And then it'll run it down here for you. There actually is a graph down here, and you'll see that on the next slide. It's ginormous, so it didn't fit on this, and I know you guys couldn't read it if I did, so put it on the next slide for you. There it is. All right, so you can kind of see the trend right here. This guy is really doing a good job, or he's about to get fired. I'm not sure. But you will know that very quickly by using this view. Okay. Now, the next piece I want to show you guys is the crew types. So what you can use with a crew type is think of it as a template. So that you can create this crew type, and then it will allow you to create a crew a lot easier. You're basically using the same information over and over and over. So inside here you can put in what's your crew type, hourly rate information, their override hourly rate, any crafts, qualifications, or tools that they use. And when you're creating your crew, all this information will carry over to it. Okay, so before I told you guys crews was just it was just a field, and you could put a domain value in there, and that was all there is. Now you have a lot that you can do with it. Okay, so you can create your crew in here, select where they're actually working, give them calendar information to sort them out. Oh yeah, go ahead, Julie. Oh, 5. 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. We're almost done. We got 4 more slides. So it'll carry over from your crew type, the crafts and everything like that, and you can also assign labor to them. Okay, so it's really cool functionality they built into this now. All right, we're on the last bit of this, so Julie will be happy with me. We can now change our statuses of our work orders to waiting scheduled. You guys are probably like, what are you talking about? You could always do that. You could, but only from the PM application. Now you can do that from within the work order application itself. Okay? Some of you still don't believe me. I promise you you couldn't do it before, unless it was custom. Okay? And the work log, actually it's just called the log, is now also available in purchase requests, purchase orders, and quick reporting. So you had a work log inside the work order application, and you could input information in there. Now you can do it with the other ones. So this is just a screenshot of you now being able to select waiting to be scheduled on your change status. Okay. And this next one is just showing you that the log is now there on purchase orders. So if something's going wrong, Joe and Betty didn't complete their part of the PO, you can record that in there and save it on there for you. And now if you guys go and play Maximo Trivia, you'll know one of the answers to the questions. All right. So, you guys got any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, so in the new version, if I close a work order, can I reopen that work order?
Only using that edit history mode. It was the same as before.
But you can reopen it, like if it was closed accidentally?
You can open some of the fields, not everything.
Okay.
Once a work order has been put into waiting for material, and that item comes in through, or it's received in, does it automatically change the work order back to a code, or does someone have to manually do that?
No, there is an automatic status change once the material comes in.
Is that just on the new version, or was that on the old one too?
No, that was previous versions too.
That's what I asked.
Oh, okay.
It happened, and we weren't sure how.
Oh, I told you, sometimes it's magical.
That's it.
All right. Do you guys got any other questions, or are you like super thirsty? If you're super thirsty, I totally get it. All right, well, thank you guys for coming to my presentation.